Okay, so this is how we tape up Hero's foot to prevent blisters. As you can see, his little piggies are nicely taped up. Normally, sometimes he'll get blisters up here, and sometimes his toes will rub together, but sometimes the shoe, but definitely the fifth toe, sometimes he gets blisters over here. So as long as we keep taped up, then there's no problem. It's not it's not really a major problem, but we just keep it taped anyway since we're in taping. But what really gets it a lot is this part right here. So what you want to do is make sure that the skin is dry and clean. And what I usually do is I usually put two layers over here. One small tape right over the hot spot where you could see there's a thickening of the skin, and then you want to put a nice layer of tape around the toe like this so it secures on itself, not just on the skin. I mean, it's stuck to the skin, but also it's stuck on itself. And the other hot spot over here is the ball of his feet, or the sesamoids. So I have like one layer inside here, and then what I do is if you just put like one layer, the tape will bunch up, it'll shift around because this is where all the pressure is going and pushing off. So part of the tape is going to be pushed off to the side. So what you want to do is anchor it all the way around. So what I had to do is I extend the tape so that way it won't get pushed this way because it's anchored down to the rest of the skin over here. Not only is it that, it's wrapped around over here, and then I have it wrapped around on top also. So the object or the point is that tape around this hot spot over here, this blister spot, is not going to move, not going anywhere, as you can see. So wrap it all the way around so that way it won't shift or move around, because once it gets moved off or shifted out of the way. And now the secret ingredient to all of this is, ta-da, wax. What you want to do is take this, oh wait, there's one more. Also, there's the back of the heel. As you can see, there's a foam tape right here, and then I secure it with some leukoplast, so that one's going anywhere. This one's not a really big deal because there's no pressure or shifting around it. It's just the shoe rubbing up against it while he's moving. But as long as there's padding, like this foam padding right here, then that's going to keep it comfortable and not going to give him any blisters. So he can keep playing with he's not encumbered. So now you saw he gets blisters here. So you saw the tape, he gets blisters here. You see the tape, he gets blisters over here. Now what you want to do is what causes blisters is kind of the shearing mechanism. And what you want to do to reduce that shearing is you take this candle wax and you put on a nice layer of candle wax on it like this. So that way the sticky material from the tape doesn't stick to the socks. I mean, it will, some of it will still anyway, but instead of shearing on the tape will just slide off whatever pressure it is. So take the shearing forces off of the tape and into this layer of wax. So what you want to do is put a nice layer of wax so that way the adhesive material doesn't stick to the socks, and the shearing forces will just slide off the tape instead of causing those pressure points. So it's like the socks goes on here, and then instead of just like rubbing up against it, it'll just slide across instead of putting pressure on the skin. So that's the key ingredient. And then you want to put it over here in this hot spot over here, like so. So just rub it in so you get a nice thick layer of wax around it, like that. So you do this, then you're guaranteed not to have any blisters. I mean, Hero can run for hours and not get a blister like we did yesterday, but it's when he's cutting and shifting and stopping and moving, that's when you get all this shearing, jamming motion. So you put that nice layer of wax around it, make sure it's nice and thick. So we just got one of these tea candles and just rub it like so. So you see that, nice layer. Be generous with it. So the more generous you are, the less blister is going to occur. Okay, so you can even put some here if you want, so the shoe will just slide off of it like so. So there. So you put that on there, and that's gonna prevent any blisters. Now the next is, now the blisters are addressed, the blisters here, the blisters are addressed. Now we want to address is the ankle sprain. Hero had a right ankle sprain. Turn this way. A while back, you could see in the video when he sprained his ankle. So what you want to do is support the posterior and medial fibular calcaneal ligament. Here's the fibula over here. Here's the calcaneus over here, and the fibular talar ligament. So that's where the kinesiology tape comes in. It provides a good support and a nice stretch to prevent and reduce ankle sprains. So that's what we're going to use. So here, can you record for me and just like that? Keep it pointed so people can see how I'm going to put this on. So what you want to do, there's some important key elements to keep in mind when you're putting this on, so that way you get the principle of how it's prevented, how ankle sprains are prevented. So here's how we start it. So you want to start up high over here, like so, and make sure that's stuck to the skin nicely right there as an anchor. So nice and anchored. Then now once that's anchored right there, what you want to do is stretch it. You see that stretch that I'm putting on there? And now you want to ask the person to dorsiflex their foot like that, because the mechanism of ankle sprains is usually plantar flex. So what you want it is in the dorsiflex position. So while you're doing that, then, so there's a nice stretch right there already. And then have this baby come around like so. I think I cut a little too long, but that's okay. And have this come around the ankle like this. And have it come around like that. Kind of like a J strap. Okay, so you see that? You want to make sure you don't have any creases or any folds, because that is going to be uncomfortable inside the shoe. You want it nice and flat against the skin. You want it to have a nice stretch over here. Oops, you don't want that. So you want to stretch, a nice stretch all the way over here. So when he inverts like this, he's going to feel the stretch, and that's going to tell his brain and his body to take the pressure off. So that's the fibula calcaneal ligament. Now let's address the talofibular ligament. So we're gonna have it angle more this way. So let's go this way, turn a little bit this way, turn a little bit more this way. So start up high over here, and now you're gonna come in more of an angle. So first thing you wanna do is get this nice and flat in there, and then have it come around lateral malleolus, and then support that ligament right there, give it a nice stretch, and then have it come around like so. So the person should feel a nice stretch and have it come around and tape to itself and anchor down so it doesn't leaks. So you gotta see, this is why it's kind of time consuming, because you got to do it slow so that way it doesn't bunch up. There. So now it's taped onto itself. So that way it's not gonna go around or move around anywhere. Okay? So that's one, and then one more. I usually do 3. If 2 is good, to support the fibular talar ligament, because that's the one that gets injured the most. So I'm going to do another one. Again, but in a more steeper angle. Hold on, this thing's fighting me. Okay, so now you want to start over here at a nice steeper angle like that, and go around the lateral malleolus, and come off at a steeper angle like that to support it. So what you want to do is anchor this down and now stretch. Give it a nice stretch. Dorsiflex it like that, and then have it come around. And then anchor onto itself. Like so. So there's going to be a nice stretch right there. And then pull this over like that. And that's going to give you nice ligament support over there. And so if it is going to turn, it's going to slow it down a bit and tell your body that, like, oh, this is turning too extreme, and you can take your weight off your foot and start hobbling and prevent an injury. And what's great about this is even though it gets sweaty and wet, it's still going to stick to the skin. And the best part about it is it doesn't limit his mobility. He feels the stretch, but it's not enough, so much tension. There is tension, but not so much that he could still feel the support, but not to the point where it's going to limit his movement in terms of movement this way or this way. And he could still run and pivot and shoot with no problems. But as you could see, there's still plenty of tension over here, but not enough for it to be a hindrance. Okay, so that's how you tape up your feet using the leukoplast, the kinesiology tape, and the foam tape to prevent blisters and also to prevent ankle sprains and reduce, if there is going to be an ankle sprain, to reduce the injury. So the first and foremost, you want it to be prevented, but if it can't be prevented, then this is definitely going to reduce the amount of ankle sprain. It might make a difference between a moderate to light or from a severe to moderate. But either way, the person's going to heal completely. They just need to rest it. Ice, compression, and elevation, if that's the case. Okay, and so that concludes today's vlog. So that's how we do it. And don't forget your key ingredient, the wax, especially for the blisters. Okay, that's today's vlog on how to tape up your foot, and make sure there's plenty of tension over here. So our next thing now is to put one sock over it. So you put one sock over it, and that will keep the tape in place. Okay, that's today's vlog. I'll see you guys in the next vlog. This is bebotsonly. Thanks for watching. So that took like about 15 minutes. And then the other foot will be another 15 minutes, so about a half an hour.